it feels great. I usually have like a sweaty, soppy, swampy helmet, and I don't have that in this helmet. What's up, guys? So this is gonna be my review for the brand new GT Air 3 by Shoei. I was able to get one of the first units in the United States. I'm pretty sure I did because I had to ship it all the way from Italy, and I'll detail that process later in the video. I could have done the review sooner, but I wanted to get a chance to actually use it rather than giving you guys a spec sheet and a picture. And I've had it for about 500 miles, so I feel like I have a pretty good idea of what it is and what I'm gonna get out of it and if it's worth it. First things first, I wanna mention where I'm coming from. So I'm coming from the original GT Air. This is maybe a 5 or 6 year old helmet. Didn't have a lot of problems with it, but every time I need to replace the windscreen, I feel like I'm just kind of throwing away value that I could have otherwise upgraded when it's a helmet this old. Don't have any real issues, no real problems, never have, still holds up pretty well. Other than a couple of nagging issues, I didn't really have a whole lot of reason to upgrade, but again, you know, a windscreen and a pin lock, it's gonna come out to about about $120, and at that point, you know, you're like 20% of the way for a whole entire new helmet, and when it's this old, it was worth it for me. That's all I'll say. And because, you know, of course, I want to do the gear review video. The weight on the two are very similar. Currently, I'd say this one's a little bit heavier, but this one does have my cardo unit completely installed. So I think this one's probably a tiny bit lighter. Will your neck feel that difference in the two? No, not as much as your pocketbook will. I don't know if you can still buy these. I believe you can. Great value. So the GT Air 3 is basically the exact same helmet as the Neotec 3, but this is the full face version. The Neotec is a modular helmet, so you know the top flips up, and that appeals to a lot of people. I think the Neotec is actually more popular now, and that's cool. A lot of people want to just be able to flip their helmet up and talk to their friends, you know, without any issues, you know, go into the gas station without taking your helmet off. I think there's a lot of good reasons to get a modular helmet, but for me, I'm fine with the full face. The full face are a little bit lighter, they're a little bit quieter, and I believe it's cheaper. So it's like win-win-win to me, and I don't know that I would ever use that flip-up thing. I'd probably use it if I had it, but I don't need it. It's not a factor for me. So I just went with the full face, the trusty dusty, the one that I've always had. I don't have a lot of problems with it. So what's different? Let's start out by saying if you're coming from a cheaper helmet, helmet from a different brand, you know, you like the Shoei name, the Shoei quality, this is all that. They don't cheap out. These things hold up. You know, how much is your brain worth to you? Probably the best investment of anything. I was talking to a friend of mine and I was like, you know, if you hurt your hands, you hurt your feet, you hurt your knees, you know, you can still do a lot of jobs. What jobs can you do without a brain? You know, so to me, the most important thing you can do on motorcycles is invest in your protection, especially your helmet, because, you know, you can always find a job if you have a brain. So the improvements I've noticed, when I look at the two side by side, they look very similar. But what I will say is, on the road while rolling, this one feels like the aero is vastly improved, and I'm looking for what that improvement is. I don't see a whole lot of differences. There are definitely differences, but I will say when you turn your head to the side while you're driving, you know, usually you get hit with that buffeting of air because, you know, it's a sail when sideways. And with this, there's none of that. I feel almost no difference when I totally change my direction of my head. I hear almost no added air noise, added wind noise. So they've really done something cool here when it comes to, you know, the wind tunnel aspect of it, I feel. You know, there are a lot of upgrades coming from the GT Air 1, the Neotec 1 or whatever, such as the inner sun visor is longer. So it goes down a little bit further, which is pretty nice. I've never really had a insect or a bug hit me in the lip or anything, you know, just going around that windscreen, but it's a little added extra protection, which is pretty nice. I don't see any reason that would be a problem, and I enjoy it. So now the windscreen, rather than, you know, coming up about right here, it goes all the way down. So seamless vision and clarity. A difference I've noticed, now these little vents down here, you know, this is a vent to let air in and out. I don't notice much difference when I run this thing. And I never have on almost any helmet. It's like sometimes my beard will be itchy, so I'm like, oh, it must be open. And then I put it the other way and my beard's still itchy and nothing has changed, and I just, you know, whatever. I close them because I want as quiet of an experience as I can for my microphones for motovlogging, but most people are just gonna leave it open, and there's nothing wrong with that. What I have noticed, and this is actually a detriment for motovlogging, but for a normal user, there's a lot more airflow over the face. And it feels great. I usually have like a sweaty, soppy, swampy helmet, and I don't have that in this helmet. The detrimental effect of that is, and what I've noticed is, that airflow, that added extra airflow seems to be coming through the chin guard. I don't know if this airflow is coming from these new vents, because the back is always open. So you can open and close the front top, you can open and close the front chin area, but the back is always open. And I don't know if that always open design is what contributes to more airflow, but I definitely feel more airflow, and when I'm editing my videos, I hear a little bit more wind noise, just standard baseline. That could be my mic placement, which I am iterating on and trying to improve. So for the average user, for a person who's just riding, who isn't making motovlogs, I think that's going to be a positive, because like I said, you're going to have more airflow. It's just going to feel better. You're going to breathe more oxygen. You're going to have more clarity. It's all good things. A difference on this one, which I think carries over from the GT Air 2, is this center mount system. So it's in the center of the windscreen, and a lot of people said the old iteration, which I can show you, on the old one, which I like, I'm so used to grabbing it, it's on the side here. And people say that, you know, over time, it pulling on one side can warp this, which affects the seal, which, you know, in rainy situations can become apparent and the water will come in and blah, blah, blah. You're not gonna have that problem when it's center mounted, so that's what they've done now. So the force of opening is spread out across the entire windscreen. No flexion is occurring. The seal is going to be good. And so it's probably a smarter design, and I understand why they would go through and do that. A big selling point if you are a Cine user is going to be the integration. I'll try to show you guys. There are little ports on either side where your Cine unit is going to go into, and I believe the battery goes here in the back, and there's and there are like tunnels and stuff throughout the helmet to let everything move throughout the helmet seamlessly, and none of the wires are like creating pressure points, and the microphone is far enough to where it's not hitting you in the mouth. It's a really nice design if you were a Cine user. I am not a Cine user, however. I have the Pack Talk Bold, the original. I've never had any problems with my cardo unit, so I see no reason to upgrade, see no reason to change. And so I was able to, actually I went to Cycle Gear trying to get some a system to mount this, and they ended up just giving me this for free. They have so many like extra pieces and they install so many of them. So shout out to Cycle Gear for helping me install this for free. I love you guys. I was about to spend like $120 on a whole revamp kit, which I really didn't need. All I wanted is a mount. They gave me a mount for free. Thank you, Cycle Gear. But what I will say is, if you have that friction mount, you know, it comes with like a little coat hanger looking thing, and it goes over the side. That is what I was using on my previous GT Air. That does not work with this because of these because of how the integration system works. And this is just empty plastic, but you can't get around it with the friction mount. However, it's a 3M sticky mount, just stuck it to the side, and it works fine. I don't have any issues. I really like this. So if you have a cardo unit and you don't like Cine, you're still going to be okay. But if you are a Cine user and you want their most up-to-date, their most seamless, most aerodynamic package, that is offered with these. I just don't have that here. And that is a big selling point for people. The previous generation was a little bit more bulbous, and I believe they're coming out with a converter system to where if you have the previous Sena for the GT Air and the Neotec 2, they're gonna have a converter and it will just pop on. But the system that this is made for, it looks like it's gonna be incredible. I'd like to try it, but I'm not willing to spend that money when what I have works so well. So I haven't upgraded, I've kept my old unit, we've been good to go. I will say on my GT Air 1, on the one, I was beginning to have like pressure points, in particular on top of the head, because I'm using a motovlog camera, which is pulling down, and so the pressure point becomes, you know, the top of your head from that weight pulling you down. And could that be just old padding? Could that be the old helmet? Maybe. I will say I don't have that issue with this one. So is it better balanced? Is it just better fitting to where the, you know, the added weight is better spread out? I don't know. That's what it feels like. This helmet is incredible, even when coming from its predecessor or the predecessor of the predecessor. This one has the double loops, OG technology, you know, the double loops, the double D-rings. And that is another selling point for me is, you know, when you want to take off your helmet, you know, you just hit the thing and it comes off. And when you're putting on your helmet, gotta let the cat in, or she's gonna ruin the entire fucking video. Go away. What the hell you doing, Mama? Mom. Hi. Come on. Let go. Let go. Let go. There you go. All right, you good. Don't climb any more doors, okay? You're nuts. Goddamn Mission Impossible cat. The process of putting the helmet on is a little bit different just because the chin guard is so new. So I do struggle with it. So it is a struggle with it rubbing all the way down my face, but you know, as it breaks in, I think it's gonna be okay. But the process of putting on the helmet is as simple as, you know, just getting the two lined up, one click and you're done. And you know, when you get to where you're going, it's so easy, it's so nice. I've never personally had a helmet with this technology on it, even though it's not new, the buckle ring system or whatever, but I like it. It's super freaking nice, super awesome. And that was another extra added selling point for me to upgrade to this, on top of everything else I've mentioned. Now, if you have a Neotec 2, if you have a GT Air 2, is it worth it to upgrade to the 3? Honestly, probably not, unless you have some extra number of other reasons to do so. Is yours really scratched up? You know, your windscreen, your helmet itself, is that scratched? Have you dropped it? Have you fallen with it? Do you really want that new upgraded Sena that only comes with these and you're ready to do that? You know, if you have a list of other reasons and you want the helmet, I'd say it's worth it. A big selling point for me is in the States, I want to say these are going to be like $600 or $700. I was able to buy it from Italy and get a discount on top of that, and because of the because of the currency conversion rates, I believe I got this for $550 for a brand new flagship Shoei helmet. That's unbeatable. So what I did was I went to the site called Outlet Moto, and while you're searching, while you're looking, they'll also offer you discounts, you know, 10%, 15%, 20%. And so you wait for that discount and you have the thing in your cart and you come back and you add it. And yeah, like I said, I got it cheaper than I would have gotten it in America, and you can't even get these in America yet. They're only released in Europe as far as I know currently. So that's pretty nice. I've even had commenters say, hey man, I don't feel safe with you having that helmet. I don't like that. That doesn't look like the Shoei GT Air 2. No, it's not. It's the newer generation that people haven't even seen, so they think it's fake. So outletmoto.eu, you know, go look at their helmets, go look at what they have to offer, check out those discounts, use those discount codes. You know, they didn't pay me, but I saved so much money and I was able to get a product that I otherwise couldn't. So that's huge for me and, you know, might help you guys out too, save some money. So those are my thoughts, 500 miles on the Shoei GT-Air 3. I really like it. Happy with my purchase. And so I just wanted to convey that to you guys. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Later, y'all.